And we are live right now on 89.7 Contact FM and on Contact TV via your application C24. My name, as always, is Eugene Anangwe. The show is one-on-one. Yet another opportunity for us to digest something very crucial for this particular country. And of course, it is a debate that is slowly and nicely cooking up right in the country. In studio with me is one gentleman who has said he's not going to mince his words on his position against the plans by anyone to have President Paul Kagame stay in office come 2017. He's none other than Bob Mugabe. He's the editor of the Great Lakes Voice. Welcome to One on One.
Thank you very much.
So let's just dive into it, because there are people who have been terming you or labeling you as a controversial journalist, someone who's always sparking some controversies from his words on social media, from what he says at different press events. What are you up to?
Thank you very much. But first of all, I will need to tell you that my true legitimate names is Robert Mugabe.
Robert, but you call yourself Bob.
Yes, very many people call me Bob because Robert is the same as Bob.
Controversy again. Let's just go into that question. Just give me the answer for that.
Don't worry. You see, we have an issue in this country where everybody thinks like everyone thinks the same way. Nobody asks why, and when you ask why, you say, "Here you go. We have a controversial man." But what's wrong with the controversies? Actually, the fact is, if the things are controversial and they are not lies, why is it a problem? Why don't we have another way of thinking? Why don't we have another way of doing things? Why can't we say, why is Anangwe wearing a black suit every day? Why can't he have a green suit? Why can't we try to have this studio put the other way around, not this way? How can we have a new setup? How can we be more innovative? How can we open our thinking? How can we have another new approach? How can we try to... When will the journalists in this country start to ask, why are things like this the way they are?
But probably they don't need any change. Do you think so? Because there are those who have labeled you and have said, this guy is just seeking attention. He's just a mere cheap attention seeker. Some have even said that you're a gun for hire.
Yeah, one of the things that doesn't even bother me is to know what other people think about me, because I don't completely care what people think. Because I'm not a politician. I don't need the positions. I don't have a political party. I don't have political ambitions. But what I'm saying is I can speak my mind. I don't care how. I know very many people has gone on Facebook calling me that I work for RNC and they are paying me. Others say I work for Reporters Without Borders. Other people say that I work for the foreigners, and other people say that actually I'm a spy for the government. Other people say that I'm seeking attention to be bought by the government. But I'm not for sale.
You're not for sale?
Yes.
So what are you? How do you describe yourself? Do you call yourself a journalist? Do you call yourself a businessman? Do you call yourself an entrepreneur? What are you?
I am a journalist, and I am probably, let me see, I'm somebody who is liberal. It is not necessary that I should think the way people think, other people think, because I'm not afraid of being labeled an extraordinary person. Because actually what concerns me is to see what I speak, my mind, is it wrong? Is it false? Am I pretending? Am I trying to be somebody else who I am?
No, you're not.
Yes, but I'm very comfortable with myself, and I don't explain to anybody because nobody sent me. I have a passion to speak my mind.
When you say you're a journalist and you say that you have a passion to speak your mind,
yes,
there are those who will say that, look at this man calling himself a journalist and he's violating some of the codes of ethics of journalists. He's already giving his opinion on certain things that journalists are supposed to be neutral on. You have come out openly to talk about the term limit issue, and you're doing it so aggressively, even on your social media. So people already know your stand. Do you think you're violating the principles of journalism?
No. Actually, if there is one role of the journalist, a journalist needs to, the first role of a journalist is to educate. Number two is to entertain. The third thing is to inform people.
So are you educating or entertaining?
I am educating. I'm educating human beings. Look, sometimes in 50 something, the king here called Musinga was sent out by the colonists from this country country and was exiled, and Rwandans kept quiet. They didn't question. They celebrated the regime of the colonists which was there.
How's that relevant to this discussion?
Yes, I'm going to tell you why. Number 2 is 59. They're part of the Rwandans who are chased out simply because they are Tutsis, and nobody complained.
How relevant is that to this discussion?
It's because we have a society which is always celebrating any regime that comes. We need to think about the future of this nation.
Is it wrong to celebrate a regime
because most of
serving you? Because those who are opposed to what you're saying, or those who are against in terms of their ideologies, in terms of this term limit issue, are saying that we are arguing with facts. We're telling you, look at the economy of the country. It is expanding by 7%. Look at the rankings. We have been just named as the happiest country in Africa. And look at the plans for maternity leave for women. Today there is a debate that probably very soon women will get 100% of their pay when they are on maternity leave. They're saying we are talking with facts. Look at the poverty levels have reduced, security. So what are you arguing with?
You see, that is actually one of the things is I want to tell you that I love Kagame. Number 2 is that I like what he does, and he has been delivering, and that's why I voted him twice.
So what's wrong with him going on?
Look, I am not asking him to deliver again because I'm not asking him to go for second term. What I don't need is to change the constitution to stay as for third term because of his delivery. I voted for him to deliver. I didn't vote for him to fail. So if he delivers, there is nothing surprising.
Where's the alternative?
Yes.
Where's the alternative? When you tell people that we do not want Kagame to stay on in 2017,
you know what?
Some people are saying we are saying
I don't want the people to mention the name of Robert Mugabe, the president of Zimbabwe, Debi, then the president Bashir. These people who changed the constitution to remain in power, who are power hungry, the dictators, also to mention the name of Kagame.
But where's the context? Where's the context? Where's the context? These are different situations.
In this country, since the independence, since 1962, no president has ever respected the constitution. You see, everybody keeps pretending as a king. Everybody speaks as if he's going to stay forever. It's as if without him everybody can die. No. You see, in 11 million Rwandans, you cannot say that we only depend on one human being. If that human being is not there, what? We are going to die? No. RPF can reproduce other people. Other political parties like Peripesde, we have alternative. Even independence. Anybody. We cannot agree in this country to be minimized to people who think in the same way, people of small men's with small ideas.
So as we speak today, people want to talk with facts. This is exactly where I want us to rely on. Let's not just throw words, blanket statements, talking about, there's no need of depending on one person, but let's look at the trend. Let's look at today, the situation as we speak. If you're telling people that we want change in terms of leadership of the country, we need also to see an alternative. I'm asking you, where is that alternative today? If you're talking about opposition,
are you talking about names, or you want to tell me that there are no Rwandans?
Versus ideologies that we see today that seem to be showing us that the people who are saying that we love Kagame to stay can be safer in their minds, that they will be fine if he leaves.
The idea of saying that you want to be safer on an individual is a poor thinking. First of all, you need to be sure and to be safer with the institutions. That's the first thing. This country should be governed by institutions, not one powerful human being. I respect and love Kagame, but if Kagame cannot build institutions that the people trust, they either way change to trust him instead of institutions, then there is a problem of worshipping one human being, which we cannot again accept because there is no guarantee of the state of the country as a nation. So we need to think with Kagame or without Kagame, what can we do? RPF has got many ideologists who have been they actually very active. For instance, there is the Secretary General of East African Community, Sezibera. We have this gentleman who has been the Minister of Finance, then he went to be the boss of BAD, Donald Kaberuka. We have some soldiers. We have a lot
But you
of
know you
names.
cannot force these people to take over.
I mean, we are not forcing them, but if the president can accept Rook, I'm stepping down Rook for alternatives, these people can come up. We can go for primaries. We can, everything can do. Actually, I see the future of this country in the perspective of RPF, not necessarily with the one human being, but with the system.
Going back to the issues of controversies and sensationalization of things, that those who say that, look at this man, everything that happens, there's always a hand of government in his post, in his statements, in everything he says. Like just recently, Deutsche Welle decided to close down some of the equipment and all that. And recently you went on your Facebook page, actually not recently, it was today, and you said that, this is what you said, and I quote, you said, government should terminate cooperation with BBC World Service. Government-sponsored probe committee says, and then you go and add, Deutsche Welle leaves Rwanda completely.
Yes.
So to insinuate that there seems to be a connection, that Deutsche Welle is leaving based on the treatment of BBC, which is also an international media house.
No. Actually,
can you clarify why and where's the connection of this?
Actually, I don't want you to make the whole show about me. It's about ideas, not about individuals.
One is
but
about
it's okay.
Yes.
But here I'm talking about international media, the claimant of international media in Rwanda. One is leaving, another one is they are saying actually government should terminate the contract with the BBC, which is an international media in Rwanda, and again sue them, take them to court. Then another one is leaving, is packing, going. Whatever happened, whatever transpired, this Deutsche Welle to leave, but that's not good news. I think we should be worried. Is it about media environment in Rwanda where the problem is? At least we need to look about it. People should think the other way, not just only one way. People shouldn't just swallow what the government says. People should think twice.
But that is why not leaving because of
that is why genocide happened in this country. People were just could take everything that the government says. The government says, kill these people. Do you kill them? You don't ask why. You don't say, no, we need to talk about it. You don't question. Nobody speaks. That's wrong.
You've gone on record saying that there are people who have threatened your life, there are people who are after your life, there are people who have been following you, there are people who showed you even guns on their waist. Is this true or not true?
So most of these things are true, but I don't want to talk about it because I am in this country and I'm here to stay.
And the reason why I'm asking you this is because this is where your critics lay a finger and say, look at him, he just wants to seek cheap attention. Why doesn't he go to report to the CID or the police and record a statement and let it just be dealt with there? Why would you go public on this kind of thing?
You see,
have you recorded any statement?
Yeah.
Did you record a statement?
Not on this, on that specifically.
Why?
But let me tell you, what if somebody doesn't even care about this criticism?
Do you think they don't care?
I think I don't need to care.
You don't need to care about your life?
About my criticism.
No, about your life. I'm talking about what you've said, that your life has been in danger.
What I can tell you about
you've gone public on Facebook.
Yes, what I can tell you right now is that I'm safe and we are talking.
You're safe.
Do you see me as somebody intimidated?
So that post, what was its main objective?
Forget about it, because most of the people we talked about it and which I said, I don't want to mention their names, we have mended our ways and everything is okay.
You know, this is a very serious issue because as a citizen of any nation, regardless of your background or whatever alienation you're in, your safety is something that is a responsibility of the state, and this is why it is being taken very seriously. When you make such allegations and you do not report to the relevant authorities, it is seen as seeking attention.
Actually, I'm looking for the day when I will report it and then the police says, Robert, why don't you come to us? We are here to protect you.
So what do you mean by that statement? I don't get it. I don't stand.
I mean, the people would be concerned as you are putting it.
Yes.
Why can't they ask me?
But how will they know if you don't go to them to report?
They really don't know.
You expect them to know everybody's safety and come to them and ask you, Robert, are you safe?
What if they are one of them? Yes. What if they are one of them?
Is this what you're insinuating? Is this a situation or is it just an allegation?
I'm trying not to build the whole discussion on that incident because it has not happened once. And look, go and talk to them. And even last time when I had come from Somalia, when I had published some stories about the Somali ambassador who embezzled and actually took this money and and he reported it to CID saying that, you know, Robert Mugabe works with the Al-Shabaab, he works with the RNC, he hands to them this six-page document saying, actually, I went to Somalia and claiming myself to be a general and all this. And the CID called me and said, Robert, you know what? And then I said, okay, I'm not answering anything. I'm going to record your statement as you want. But please look at this. I showed them the story. I was following up the story. When the youth of this country came together to help the people of Somalia, then this man did not go to Somalia. Actually, the ambassador pocketed it here, and he bought his nice car, and he had to enjoy himself.
Can you verify this?
Yes,
in a court of law. Can you verify this statement?
Yes,
we do not want you to just throw allegations.
Look, I'm not
verify.
I have published this. And the police has investigated, and this ambassador has left the country. They have recalled him, and the embassy is closed.
But you remember you also published a story some time ago about Ambassador Mutawawa.
Yes.
Claiming that he had been arrested.
Yes.
That he was in police custody.
Very good for asking me that.
And that time,
actually, I like you for that.
He seemed not to have been arrested.
Yes. Actually, I understand that he went and complained to RMC, and I wanted him to complain, and the RMC called me, Rwanda Media Commission called me, and called him, because that's where I was going to throw all of the facts to his face. But simply, he came, and I don't know how he ended up in this studio to challenge me in my absence, and he didn't challenge the story.
But still, he said he had not been arrested, and you insist he had been arrested. What were your facts?
My fact is that when he was called and when he was investigated and interrogated, my source was there. And I have everything I can present to court if we goes to court. So we are not this, how can I call it? We are not a kind of online tabloid. We are not this gutter press. No, we are professional journalists. We are doing, it's a media organization registered in Rwanda. We are doing journalists. We are doing actually what is different with us is that we are approaching the stories the other way. People don't want it to be said. Actually, what I call news is what the people don't want to go out.
Is that news for you?
Yes.
And that is informing and entertaining?
Actually, that is calling for checks and balance.
Checks and balance.
Yes.
So you have zero regrets whatsoever for claiming that Ambassador Mutawawa had been arrested?
I can repeat now, and I can be on record. He was arrested, interrogated, and then set free.
Based on what? Now that you have the sources, now that your media house is very professional, you have all the information.
Yes.
Tell us, spill the beans, go on.
What was the problem?
Spill the beans.
I wrote the story. Should I write the story and then I come here to rebroadcast it?
But listen, you are claiming...
It was a crisis in the RPF.
You are claiming that you did not have a right of hearing, a right of say, a right of reply.
Yes.
You're saying that he came to this studio and spoke in your absence. Here's your chance. Talk to us.
But my chance is my story. I'm here actually to tell you about that story. That's my story. Everything I wrote about Mutawawa is true, and I can prove it in the courts of law.
Okay.
Yes.
So where do we go from here? This debate, this argument, this whole online, accusation, exchanging of bitter words on Facebook and on Twitter sometimes. Where do we go from here? What if we come 2017 and the head of state himself says, you know what, I didn't even intend to run for another term? So, do you look like you are just making unnecessary noise?
You see, I am not just making this noise. You see, some of the time you are not careful with the words you are using with me, allegations, noise, complaints, all these things. It is something that is not actually very sweet and professional. But let me just answer you because I am your guest. Let me tell you, we have been...
Do you mean if you are my host, you would have...
No, I wouldn't. For me to be fair, I wouldn't use these words.
Go. Tell me.
One of the things is, for instance, you are a journalist like me. I can't say that what you are doing, you are unprofessional, you are doing gutter press, you see, I give you a chance of doubt. But then, thank God that actually you're asking me. But let me tell you, I have been reporting about the politics inside the RPF about that time. I was the first person to write after the RPF convened the political bureau at the Amahoro Stadium. I I started writing when they established this commission. This commission made of the likes of Professor Chaka and other guys I wrote about how things they did, and their report, which has failed to come public in RPF. And they were the one suggesting Kagame should go for third term.
Yes.
And I can see. Yes. And last time I was in the studios of another FM radio called the Anangwe Star,
yes,
with the Minister Fazil, who was pushing for third term, and with an official from local government, actually telling him that actually these people who are this wananchi, these local people who are requesting Kagame to stay, they are staged.
They're stage managed.
Yes, they're staged.
What do you mean by that?
Because I want to see an unprompted meeting organized by the people themselves talking about this thing, not this meeting of the president visiting them or the minister of local government, then having these people pretending that, oh, the Mr. President, if you don't run again, minister of local government go and tell the president that if he doesn't run again, we shall hang yourselves. We shall hang ourselves.
So do you feel
my message to them
what you're saying here, what you're telling me right here is that you want to see the public itself organize public address systems, yes, organize a meeting at a certain place, yes, and make this statement.
Yes, without the hand of the presence, state.
Without the, when you say state, maybe it's not everybody.
The government.
They're just
ministers and the president.
These ministers and presidents, yes, have their own right to also have their opinion, no? The same way you're having yours. Why wouldn't they also have their own opinion?
One of the articles in the Constitution, when they are swearing in, they swear to protect the Constitution, not trying to manipulate it.
But the Constitution, as they say, is not written on stone. It has been amended 4 times, yes, since 2000. But so are they violating it as it is today?
Do you think that is okay?
Is the violation being done today?
Yes.
What is the violation?
The violation is people have been changing the Constitution without a referendum.
Give an example. When did they change? It has been needed a referendum.
It has been changed 4 times, and now this is going to be the 5th time.
What was needed in terms of this referendum that we're talking about? Why is it necessary?
You see, what is the Constitution first? Before I answer that, Constitution is the thoughts. It's the wishes, it is the aspirations, it is the idea, yes, of the people, declaring what the state should be, what the country should be, the people managing them, and how they should behave. So if these people vote for this document, which actually talks about the country, then some people who represents them, go there and tamper with these documents, not 1 time but more than 3 times, without the consent of wananchi.
Then what's their work? Because they represent. You see, not all wananchi can be in parliament.
You see,
no? They are being represented by parliamentarians.
The work of the parliament is not to change the Constitution. The work of the parliament is to establish laws and call for checks and balance of the executive arm of the government.
Isn't the Constitution a legal thing? Is it made by law?
No. The supreme law of the land is the Constitution. Anything which is beyond Constitution, it's not legal. So every law, everything is built on the Constitution. Actually, Article 1 of the Constitution is Rwanda is a sovereign state and built on principles of democracy, and it is non-religious. It is not. It is a secular government,
and it can be changed anytime. No.
You see, the Constitution is not just the Constitution is not a notebook that you can.
But it can be changed, no?
Sometime yes, but with reasonable facts. Why reasonable arguments?
Who determines whether those arguments are reasonable or not? Is it Bob? Is it Parliament? Is it the people?
It is actually the Constitution itself. It talks about it. It's first the cabinet that comes up with the proposal, then comes to the 2 houses of the Parliament. then people after that, then they can do their
whatever
job.
they want.
Yes.
What if this happens
Yes.
in 2017?
Yes.
If all this is followed,
Yes.
if cabinet does what you said, if the MPs come up and then the people are given a chance to say if they want to change it on term limits or not, and then they go ahead for a referendum and they say yes, we want to change it. Yes, we want Kagame to stay. What will you do?
It's not what I will do.
Okay, what will happen? Because you are a crusader, you are a person who is actually vocal against this plan.
Yes.
So that's what I'm asking. When I say you, is you and the people of like-minded.
Okay, very good. I don't think that most of the time the Rwandans, the local people, are empowered enough to make their personal decisions. That's where the whole problem is.
Is that whose fault is that? Will you say it's the government?
Yes.
Why?
Because government needs to empower these people. That's why we vote for them.
Where's your role as a journalist?
My journalism part of it is actually what I'm doing right now, to tell them about the consciousness of making any decision like this one. What will happen with the country?
Do you think you're giving them in a balanced way, because you already have put your position? Do you think as a journalist you're giving them a fair hearing or a fair dose of the information they need to have?
Actually it's
from both sides of the coin.
Yes, but actually most of the time is me. I'm a journalist. I'm not a politician. But what I'm trying to do is I'm a Rwandan. I have a role to educate them, to tell them, look, you guys, any decision you will be taking in 2017, it should be a sober and a very serious decision based on the information you have, not based on manipulation. Thinking about national interests. And that's actually what I was challenging with some of the MPs, pro-RPF MPs, who are saying that they want Kagame to stay. Then I said, okay, in 1993 we were at the peace talks. RPF was in the peace talks with the Habyarimana's government of Merende. One of the things they were saying that during the transition, when they come to power, when RPF comes to Rwanda, and when they share power in the transition, they don't need the constitution. What they need is what they called it was like something like Itegeko Nshinjiro. It is a hybrid of, it is a cocktail of a small part of the constitution, Arusha
Again, Bob,
negotiations.
I don't see relevance. I don't see the connection. You're not giving me my answer.
You see the connection.
Where's the connection?
Why
discussion?
What RPF deterred from the former constitution, the last constitution of MRND, is what actually they want now. So why did we have to remove Habyarimana's constitution and have this one? If at the end of the day we are going back to Habyarimana's, so they shouldn't have changed anything. We didn't have to vote in 2003. We shouldn't have had another new constitution.
I'm being told my time is up. Very, very, very unfortunate. But of course, in closing, what is wrong with another term for President Kagame as we close? Because you have even started a hashtag, which says what? Say it yourself.
Retire Kagame 2017.
Exactly. So what is wrong?
I'm not sure about it.
What would be wrong with another term for the president?
You see, the problem is one, and it has been a problem since the independence of this country. There is a crisis of the heads of the state. Every head of the state leaves the power dying.
But there's context. There is context in all these situations.
Dying. No? Look. Since from Mbonyumutwa coming to Kaibanda, coming to Habyarimana, and then Bizimungu, he ended up in a prison. They end up in a prison dying. We needed to have retiring presidents who are still young and they serve the country. We needed to see our presidents. Actually, the constitution says that if they finish their term, they should go to the Senate and advise the country. We need to see young presidents, energetic presidents, very sharp presidents like President Kagame, still giving their opinion and giving their stand in the Senate. We need to have a legacy of democracy. We need to build institutions. We need to have a country to end this crisis of the president, of the heads of the state. You can't tell me that in 30 years, 35 years after independence, we have no president who we can say, look, who we can go for advice. Because the last president who we have right now, who is the President Bizimungu, who had served his sentence until Kagame gave him, President Kagame gave him amnesty. Then see where he is. He's not even in the Senate so that we can get anything from him. He's now living like another Muturaji. And yet we wanted something. So we needed a president. We needed this country.
All right.
Yes.
Bob.
Yes.
That's all the time we had for.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for hosting me.
All the best in all your endeavors.
Thank you.
Asante.
Please join me.
Join me?
Yeah. In this push of educating Rwandans.
But we all have our different ways of educating Rwandans now.
Yeah.
So you can have yours, I can have mine.
It's okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you for having me.
Asante sana.
Asante
Take care,
sana.
my brother.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. All the views expressed on this particular show, not mine, not of this station, but for our guest today. And of course, we thank you so much for listening and for watching. This is One on One. And of course, see you again next time. The hashtag to use is 101RW. Let's stay in touch. And of course, my name is Eugene Anangwe. Goodbye for now.